All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. Today we have Isabel Guarino Smith with us from the Residential Assisted Living Academy. Isabel is a graduate from ASU, a former flight attendant, Walt Disney intern, and now the Residential Assisted Living Academy's leading lady as the COO. I am super excited to have her here because I love niche real estate investments that people can make, and residential assisted living is definitely one of those. So Isabel, thank you very much for hopping on the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. I told you before we got on here, we'd like to start with stories. We like to hear how people got to where they are today. I'm sure you got a good one. So why don't you take us back to the beginning? How'd you get started in real estate?
Yeah. So actually my grandmother broke her hip, and we found out she needed 24/7 care, help with activities of daily living. My dad had been a real estate investor for 40 years. Okay. And while he was looking for an option for her, he was just disgusted with everything that was out there. And he, wasn't like going to go be a caregiver himself. And none of us were willing to step up to the plate in that regard. So, we kind of stumbled into residential assisted living, and he did some quick math and was like, I'm either going to be paying $5,000 a month for her to live here in this home, or I could own the real estate, own the business. She can live for free and I can cash flow $10,000 a month. So he's like, let's buy this. So he bought the business, got up and in it. And I was a flight attendant, and had to move back home because I was making no money. And I'd always seen what he was doing in real estate and had some interest, but this really intrigued me because I'd seen him have tenants and toilets and all this drama. And all of a sudden he was super happy, more cash heavy than I'd ever seen him before. And he was hanging out with old people. And I was like, what's going on? So I just started asking more questions, hanging out with him more, and kind of pushed my way in the door to be like, you need to hire me. And eventually he did. I was his first hire. And now we built 8 companies. It's been, I think, 7 or 8 years. And we have like over 50 people now. And I absolutely love it. So I pushed my way in. That's how.
That is awesome. Congratulations to that growth. That is great to hear. And it is, my grandparents, not recently, she's 97 now, but probably about 5-10 years ago, we had to get her into a home. And I just remember my parents going through the same thing that your dad went through, trying to find good housing that was relatively inexpensive. Really, really difficult to find good assisted living out there. So I definitely see the need, especially, my family having gone through it too. And so I like where you guys are at. A lot of questions kind of pop into my mind when I think about residential assisted living as an investment. As a business, it makes sense. When I think of it as an investment, though, I see a very specialized type of house. I know you guys do residential assisted living, so you kind of put these, you can transform any house into an assisted living space.
Yeah.
What does somebody do when they need, when they take just a regular house and turn it into an assisted living facility?
Yeah, great question. So depending on where you are in the country, you're allowed to have typically somewhere between 6 and 16 residents in the home. Most seniors want private bedrooms, private bathrooms. So think like 300 to 500 square feet per person. So if you have 10 residents in the home, minimum a 3,000 square foot home, upwards of 5,000. You're not going to find a 10 bed, 10 bath on the market. So you're either going to have to build it from the ground up, you're going to have to buy a single family and convert it to become, or you're going to have to buy an existing business, or you could work with someone who's already done the real estate and lease it from them, right? And get involved that way. So you're going to have to create this home kind of custom for this. You don't have to be fully ADA compliant, but you do want to be as senior safe as possible. So ramps, guardrails, handrails, if it's multi-level, adding in chair lifts or elevators, all those different things to make sure that it's senior safe are really important.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So when do you guys operate these businesses as well, or do you just own the real estate?
Yeah, so we own the real estate. We technically own and operate the business, but that doesn't mean we're like working in the homes. Like I do one phone call a week with my licensed administrator, and then I visit the homes maybe every other month. So we do it very, very passively, where we work on the business, not in it.
That is the way to go. I'm assuming for assisted living, you need a nurse on site. Is that correct? Or am I
not a nurse, but a licensed administrator? So it's just a different level of licensing, and it's not nearly as high as a nurse.
Okay. And if you had like three of these facilities within or houses within, I don't know, 20-mile radius, can you have one person support all of those houses, or do you have to have somebody on site all the time?
No, one administrator can oversee, typically I would say 2 to 4 homes is full time for them. So we
Wow.
always encourage people to have a 3 pack, at least 3 homes within 20 minutes of each other, so that you can share those resources. Now your caregivers are there 24/7 with the seniors. So,
Right.
awake staff at night, and they're the ones doing the direct care of the residents, but the administrator, the licensed administrator in real estate world, is kind of like a property manager.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So they're in charge of all like the day-to-day decision making and everything in that regard.
Gotcha. So the licensed administrator, they'll do the hiring of any licensed
Caregivers.
staff that yeah, caregivers that you need to have on site. And then they kind of manage the businesses, and you manage the PM, the licensed administrator.
Yeah, exactly.
When it comes to deciding where to buy a house for this business model, I'm assuming finding comps, pulling out market data can be kind of difficult. How do you go about identifying a pocket in a larger metro that needs something like this?
The biggest things I'm looking for is demographics. So you want the demographics of the area to be where majority 50 to 70-year-olds who are upper middle class, who are typically homeowners. That's like the number one thing. If that is not the majority of the population, then I won't even look at the property, because that is who we call daughter Judy. And she's who looks for mom or dad's care. She's usually who pays for mom or dad's care. She's very much involved in all of those decisions. And so it's really important that we're surrounding where exactly she is. And because she doesn't want to drive 45 minutes down the road. She wants to be 5 minutes, go see mom or dad real quick. So we have to be near daughter Judy.
Yep. That's funny. For my grandpa, my parents, they did the exact same thing, and the house was literally, it was like maybe a mile away from their home. The residential assisted living that they did. So it makes a lot of sense. People don't want to have to drive all over the place in order to see their parents. So in terms of competition, the thing that comes to mind is the larger facilities, like I don't know,
the Brookdale, the Sunrise. Yeah,
exactly. How does your model fit in with those larger facilities? Do you guys not put facilities within an X mile radius of those larger facilities, or how does it work?
I love that question, because actually, if there is a brand new, we call them big boxes, right? If there's a brand new big box around the corner, I want you to put your home at their doorstep, because they did the internal feasibility study. They spent millions to determine that that's the area where there's a need. So not one that's 20 years old, but if one is brand new, you want to be as close to them as possible, because as daughter Judy's looking for that, she's going to look for that. And you're not going to have the same marketing dollars that they are, right? You don't have a sign out front. You don't have all these ads going up everywhere, but she's looking for that. And if you could be right next to it, if she passes your home on the way, that is something that we want. Because if she wants an alternative, or once she moves mom or dad there and she's super unhappy with the services, she'll want to come to you.
That's super smart. I have a rule for mobile home parks and RV parks, is that they got to be within a 20-mile radius of a Walmart, because if a Walmart's there, then they've done the research. You can trust that the market is pretty good.
It's the McDonald's method, right?
There you go.
You got to do it.
Awesome. So, I mean, your model is really flexible from my perspective. Does it work in smaller metros, or do you see this only working in places like, a Phoenix, a Seattle, Fort Lauderdale, one of the bigger metros out there?
We do have students in all 50 states. So this can and is happening everywhere. Because I always joke, like, raise your hand if you're getting older or know someone who is, right? Like, we're all getting older. Everyone's going to need this. And if you grew up in Charleston, South Carolina, your whole life, you don't just move to Arizona because you turned 85. Like, you're probably staying there. So as long as the daughter Judys are there in that area, you can really make it work anywhere, in any market. And because the silver tsunami is coming, right? Right now, the baby boomers are not in assisted living. They'll be in assisted living in the next 10, 20 20, 30 years. So this is really forward thinking. I want to say it's like 44 million in the silent generation, and that's who's currently is in assisted living, but there's 76 million baby boomers. We're about to almost double the need.
Wow.
And we're currently 1.3 million beds short.
Oof.
So talk about opportunity. It's everywhere. Like if it's not there right now, it might be there in 10 years, 5 years, 15 years. That's why that demographics is important to find out, because when we go where they are, they're making the decisions. But really, opportunity is everywhere. I wouldn't put it in the middle of San Francisco, like downtown, but outskirts, suburbia, definitely.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. And I didn't know there were that many more baby boomers than there are. What's right before baby boomer? Generation X, something like
generation.
that.
Oh, right after is Gen X. Yeah.
Right after is Gen X. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. You said how many? It was 70 million, something like that.
76 million baby boomers.
6 million. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's definitely an opportunity and a need for this kind of property for sure.
Yeah.
So let's just put on the hat. Actually, I can put on my own hat because I've never done this before myself. So I'm putting on my own hat. I've never done residential assisted living. What do I need to know? What are the first steps I need to take if I wanted to buy my own house and turn it into a facility and get it up and running?
Obviously, I'm always going to tell people to get educated first, right? Learn everything that you need to do before you jump into this. It's not like fix and flip where it's like, I'll figure it out along the way. It's okay if I make a couple mistakes. No, these are people's lives. This is a licensed business. You're hiring staff. This is like a big deal. So get educated first. But then we're going to do that, determining where you want the home, right? So location. Once we've determined that, we talked about earlier, I mentioned the 4 ways to get started: buying land, leasing, buying an existing business, or a single family you're going to convert. Depending on which of those 4 you choose, they have different timelines, different price points, everything of that regard. But I don't want you to use any of your own money. So then I want you to, after you decided that, start raising the capital, whether that's through private money, syndication, bank loans, SBA loans, whatever you want or need to get that money to get the ball rolling. Then whichever of the 4 routes you chose, we're going to get that home, either renovate it, right? Or start building it. Or if you're leasing it, we're going to start marketing to fill the home. If you're buying an existing, we're going to start looking for potentially replacement staff or minor things we can do to update the home. So all those 4 routes have a lot of different variables, but once the home is near ready to be open, right, we're going to be marketing heavily, doing open houses, making sure that we're having people move in ASAP, hiring our staff, making sure all those things are ready to go, opening doors. We've got our staff there. We've got people moving in, and it starts rocking and rolling, and then we're cash flowing, and it's going to be great.
Boom, boom, bang. Just like that.
Just like that. Sounds so easy, right?
It always does. It always does. I just took a peek. We are running through our time, but before we switch over to the quick question round, I want to ask one last question. You mentioned, the 4 different ways people can acquire this type of asset. One of them was buying an existing business. Whenever you're doing that, I always like to look for efficiencies that I can make. I look at their P&L, figure out where they can cut costs, or where they can save on the costs that they're spending.
Yeah.
When you're looking at a P&L for this type of facility, what are the things that you would kind of pick out that seem like an over expenditure? Like they're spending too much here. There's definitely some costs that can be saved.
Okay, when you're buying one of these businesses, first, this should be noted, 80% of this industry is run by immigrants from other countries and run very mom and pop style. We are kind of the new breed who's coming in and saying, we're going to run this professionally. We're bringing real estate investors instead of primarily medical professionals, right? So we're kind of the new wave. We only represent about 20% of owners. 80% is mom and pop. So they're living in the home, they're working in the home, they're writing off their 2 Mercedes, their 4 cell phones, and all of their food. So the first thing I'm looking for in the P&Ls is missing or added expenses. expenses, right? What's in there that's not going to be there when I'm taking this over as a professional owner, right? Because they're obviously doing whatever they can to get their taxes as low as possible. So they want to make it look like they're making zero. So
Yep.
there might be a lot of missing expenses or added expenses that you're like, no, that's not appropriate. So there's a lot of adjustments to be done on that. And the biggest thing to remember is when you're buying a business, especially from someone who's not necessarily like a professional business owner, this isn't what they do. You have to make a friendship with them. You have to talk to them and explain to them, like, you are the market, and you have to educate them, but in a kind way. When you're buying a business, it takes a minute. It might be 3 to 6 months. Like, you're going to be communicating with this person quite a bit. So I always encourage people, bring value, be kind, go about it in the right way, and make a friend out of this person, because they might be able to give you a lot of help and advice as you're getting started.
Really great advice. And it's funny how many people, sellers that I've bought properties from, and I still talk to them to this day. You think that it ends once you sell the property, but sometimes it doesn't, especially if they're cool.
Yeah.
Shoot, I was going to ask one last question and it just escaped my mind. Give me 2 seconds. And you were talking about 80% mom and pop. I hate it when this happens. Shoot. Well, we'll come back to it at another episode. I'm going to push us into the quick question round. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's do it. It starts with books. I'm a big bookie, so give me 2 recommendations, one for general life wisdom and one for real estate specific.
Okay, general life wisdom. I'm all about the 5 a.m. Club. Great book. If you've never read it.
Never read it.
And then business, in regards to assisted living, my dad has authored 3 books on this, and his latest one just got released like last week. It's called The Silver Tsunami of Seniors. So for anybody who wants to learn more about this, that's what I would advise you read.
Awesome. So what is the 5 a.m. club about? I'm assuming it's about waking up at 5 a.m., right?
It's about waking up and mostly just like living life to the absolute fullest, like just going out in all categories of life, which I'm all about.
Great message. Great message. Yeah. And I'm sure we'll get this at the end too, but where can people find your dad's book?
RAL101.com.
RAL101.com. Perfect. All right, next question. This is for your younger self. So let's go back to the Isabel who was, let's say she was a flight attendant. She was just going on her first flight. Go to her, look her in the eye, give her one piece of advice moving forward.
That is like such a sentimental question. I think I would say trust yourself.
Good. That's good advice. Good advice for any age, definitely. And that moves us to the next question. Is your Superman strengths? We are all gifted with strengths that we uniquely give to this world. What is your Superman strength?
I think my strength.
Or Superwoman, I apologize.
No worries. I think my strength is efficiency. I am highly efficient. Like, yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. Next question. This is mentors. We all stand on the shoulders of giants. None of us are here alone. We all learn from each other. So who is one mentor? Give them a shout out that has contributed the most to your career today.
Oh, I'm going to say Gary Harper. He works with Sharper Business Processes, and he's been one of our business coaches for years. And I feel like he's always believed in me even more than I could believe in myself. And I've needed that love and encouragement throughout, the years in business. So Gary Harper, shout out to him.
Awesome. Shout out to Gary Harper. Thank you for getting Isabel to where she is today. All right, next one. This is second to last question, and this is the United States. It's a big place, a lot of opportunity out there to invest. So what is one metro you are most excited about investing in today?
Ooh, I would say I'm really all about Florida right now. It's just so everyone wants to be there.
Especially for your business, right?
Yes, that too. And also just, I think everybody wants to be there right now, and it's just booming so much. You really can't go wrong. I think Florida in general.
Yep. Many people have echoed that. I haven't bought anything out there, but it does seem to be blowing up. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. And that is leading us to the very last question. This one is for the listeners. You've given us a lot of good advice. So what is the best way for people to reach out and get in contact with you?
Yeah, I would say grabbing that free book. I've got free webinars. You can have a phone call with me or my team at ral101.com. And we are on all social, from YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, RAL Academy, on pretty much all of the Instagram, all the socials. So follow us online. I'll make you laugh on TikTok.
Awesome. I love it. All right. So that is ral101.com. I will put that in the show notes. So if y'all want to reach out to Isabel and learn a little bit more about residential assisted living, go ahead and click a little more in the description. It'll pull down the full description, and in there you can find that URL. So Isabel, that wraps it up. Thanks a lot for hopping on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And for everybody who's here with us today, thank you guys for showing up. You are the reason we do this. If y'all have any questions whatsoever, reach out to me, Gabe with realestateinvestingclub.com. Other than that, I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Real Estate Investing Club. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed putting it on, and we're able to pull some actionable advice that you can apply in your own investing today in the field. Before you go, we have a gift for you. If you're a new investor looking to get started, or an established investor looking to take your investing to the next level, I've created an ebook just for you, available on our website. This ebook will cover how I was able to create both active and passive income in real estate with very little money to start with. In it, I will address the 3 most often cited obstacles new and veteran investors run into by showing you how to find deals that are actually deals, how to finance a deal with little to no money down, and how to exit those deals for maximum value. And if you get the ebook today, I am throwing in a bundle of bonuses, 7 of them to be exact. The first one will be the off-market lead generation blueprint, which will take you through the exact systems and processes we use to generate off-market leads like clockwork, which is the most important skill when it comes to creating wealth in real estate. The second bonus is the A to Z REI systems and vendors guide, which will allow you to peek under the hood of our business and see the exact tools, systems, and even the vendors we use to see the success that we do. And the third bonus is the top 100 best performing keywords pack, which will give you the exact keywords we use to target motivated sellers online using PPC ads. The fourth bonus is our contracts bundle for wholesaling and renting real estate, which will give you access to all the contracts we use in the field to execute all different types of transactions. After that is the Investors Quick Analysis Calculator and Offer Tool, which will allow you to quickly calculate whether a deal is an actual deal and will allow you to create an offer automatically from those calculations. This is a lot of bonuses that I said. I'm just going to keep going down the list. Number 6 is the Investors Daily Success Tracker, which is a tracker you can use to ensure you are taking the right actions day in and day out to reach your financial goals in real estate. And the last bonus is the Wholesalers Template for Quick Assignment Cash, which will give you the templates we use to present our wholesale deals professionally and efficiently to our buyers. Whew, that is a bundle. So it's a mouthful. You get all of those bonuses for free when you download the ebook. All we charge is the admin cost to run the show. So if you're interested in the ebook and the bonus bundle, head on over to the website at therealestateinvestingclub.com. Click on Get the Ebook Bundle at the top of the page to take advantage of that deal. And with that said, I hope you have a fantastic day, an even better week. Keep rocking real estate, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.